Every year, most people start January full of hope. By February, about 80% have already dropped their New Year's resolutions. It is not because they are lazy. It is usually because their goals sit on top of weak or non-existent systems. This video is about those systems, how to build them, and how to use them to hit goals that used to feel impossible. Like you, I used to wonder why some people reach massive goals while others stay stuck in the same place for years. I read books, watched interviews, and studied people who were consistently winning in different areas of life, work, health, money, learning, creativity. After a while, a clear pattern appeared. Different people, different talents, different backgrounds, but one repeated idea. The people who win long-term are obsessed with systems. I am not saying I am some world-class genius worthy of a TED stage, but I have hit several goals that once felt out of reach for me. When I looked back and connected the dots, the same thing kept showing up. Strong systems that made progress almost automatic. My hope is that you can take these ideas, apply them to your own life, and see real change. So, how do you actually achieve any goal? How do you design systems that almost force you to succeed? And what increases your odds of success when motivation is low and life gets messy? Let us start with why goals fail. Goals live in the future. They are fiction until you get there. You cannot touch them. You cannot stand on them. They are a picture in your head. Systems live in the present. They are your manual. They are the daily actions, rules, and routines that guide you step by step. Goals feel exciting. You imagine the result, the body, the money, the channel, the business, the lifestyle. But as James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, likes to say, everyone can share the same goal. Almost everyone wants to be fit. Almost everyone wants financial security. Almost everyone wants meaningful work. The goal is not the differentiator. The system is. Most people fail because they copy the dream, not the system. They want the outcome of successful people, but they do not adapt the process that created that outcome. Imagine you buy the Lego Death Star kit and throw away the manual. You dump thousands of pieces on the floor and hope it somehow turns into a perfect model. You could try your best for hours, but the chance of success is close to zero. Now imagine the same kit, but this time you follow the manual page by page. You still need time and effort, but the path is clear. You do not need to be a genius. You just follow the system. That is what a good system does for your goals. It removes guesswork. It reduces stress. It turns, I hope this works, into, if I keep doing this, it will work. You also need to understand something important about human happiness. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. You hit a goal, feel great for a short time, then your happiness slides back to your normal baseline. A promotion, a new phone, a relationship, a subscriber milestone, the high always fades. If your happiness only depends on reaching goals, you will live in a constant cycle of short highs and long disappointments. Goals are useful, but goals alone are not enough. They also create a very harsh pass or fail mindset. Either I hit it or I am a failure. Either I succeed or I am nothing. That mindset kills joy during the process. You start to hate the journey that is supposed to be your life. So here is the shift. You need to fall in love with the system. Fall in love with the process. The training, the learning, the small daily wins. Results become a side effect. You feel proud of who you are becoming, not only of what you have achieved. The only comparison that truly matters is with your past self. Are you a bit more focused than last month? A bit stronger than last year? A bit more skilled than before? Systems make that measurable. You can have no clear written goals, but if your systems are strong, you will still stack results. The reverse is not true. You can have beautiful goals and terrible systems and still stay stuck. Successful people use goals as a North Star. Systems are their GPS. Now let us talk about the engine that powers those systems: grit. Psychologist Angela Duckworth talks about grit as the power of passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Not passion for one intense week. Not effort for one motivated month. Years. She describes grit as waking up day after day and still moving toward the same meaningful future, even when it is boring, hard, or unclear. Grit treats life more like a marathon than a sprint. Short bursts of motivation are nice, but they are not enough to carry you over years. Talent alone does not give you grit. We all know naturally gifted people who never follow through. Intelligence is not enough. Raw talent is not enough. In many cases, the people we call geniuses are simply people with deep and genuine curiosity about something, plus extreme persistence. They stay with problems longer. They ask more questions. They keep going when others get bored or frustrated. Consistency beats talent again and again. Take a real example. There is a streamer known as Tyler1. He started as a League of Legends player with a reputation for being extremely intense and sometimes toxic. People made fun of him. But hidden behind the drama is his insane work ethic. He grinded League so hard that he reached Challenger in every role. That alone is very rare. Then, when chess suddenly exploded on Twitch, he jumped in as a complete beginner. People expected him to stay stuck at beginner or low intermediate level. Instead, he pushed his rating close to 2,000 in about a year. He did not have the most advanced training plan. He did not study like a professional chess player. He simply showed up. Again and again. Thousands of games. Thousands of puzzles. His talent did not separate him. His willingness to grind did. That is grit. You may not be naturally gifted. You may not have the best starting position. But if you are willing to be the person who keeps showing up, your odds of success increase a lot. Obsession becomes your fuel. You want your goal so badly that you are willing to go through boredom, confusion, and repeated failure. Obsessed people look for feedback instead of hiding from it. They treat failure as information. They care less about looking smart and more about getting better. If you have never failed, you probably have never truly tried. So, with the fundamentals clear, how do we actually build effective systems that produce real results? I like to break it into 3 steps. Step 1 is to define your North Star. You need a long-term direction, roughly 3 to 5 years out. Something that is linked to your core values, not a random trend, not what your friends are doing, not what your family keeps pushing on you. Ask yourself, by 3 to 5 years from now, what do I want my life to look like? What kind of person do I want to be? What skills do I want to have? How do I want to feel about my health, my work, my relationships? You need a vision that feels emotionally real. You can close your eyes and see it. You can feel it in your body. Most important, it has to be driven from the inside. If your goals are mainly about impressing others or winning external approval, you will burn out fast. We live in an information-heavy world. Social media constantly shows you other people's highlight reels. If you are not careful, you start copying their dreams instead of discovering your own. Your identity blurs. You stop asking, who am I and what do I want, and replace it with, what will get the most likes? You need quiet time to think, to let your mind wander without constant notifications, to reflect on your patterns, your strengths, your pain, your desires. If you always attack yourself mentally, those thoughts slowly turn into identity. I failed becomes I am a failure. When that happens, even good goals feel heavy and draining. Goals that are rooted in deep self-worth activate your brain's reward systems in a powerful way. Pursuing them feels meaningful, not just impressive. People who struggle to hit goals often fall into 2 groups, the dreamers and the blind doers. The dreamers have rich inner worlds. They imagine big futures. They know exactly who they want to be. They talk about plans and ideas a lot. But they do not execute. They drown in fantasies and avoid the hard, boring work needed to bring any of it into reality. The blind doers are the opposite. They work hard. They grind every day. But they have no clear direction. They say yes to everything. They follow other people's scripts. They are always busy, yet not truly moving toward a life they chose. Your brain has modes that roughly match these 2 types. One network handles imagination, reflection, and internal storytelling. Another handles focused tasks and execution. Successful people are not pure dreamers or pure grinders. They use both systems in sync. They see the future clearly and then do the work in the present. The clearer and more intrinsically motivated your North Star is, the easier it becomes to stay obsessed and consistent. Before you commit to a big path, ask yourself honestly, is this something I truly want? If no one could see this goal, would I still chase it? Step 2 is to reverse engineer your goals. Write your main 3 to 5 year goals. Then ask what must be true for this to happen. What skills do I need? What projects do I need to complete? What habits do I need to build? Do not keep this in your head. Break it down on paper or on screen. Goal systems theory describes different ways that actions and goals connect. Equifinality is when different paths reach the same goal. For example, you can get fit through weightlifting, calisthenics, sports, or dance. Multifinality is when one action supports several goals. For example, regular exercise improves health, mood, productivity, and confidence at the same time. Unifinality is when one action mostly supports only one goal. Counterfinality is when an action pushes one goal forward while harming another, like working every night to grow your business while slowly destroying your health and relationships. You do not need to memorize the terms. You just need the logic. You want to maximize actions that support multiple goals at once and minimize actions that secretly damage other important areas of life. Next, use first principles thinking. Take a big goal and keep asking, what is this made of, until you reach tasks you can do in under 15 minutes. Turning get fit into do 20 minutes of strength training 3 times a week is first principles. Turning start a YouTube channel into write 1 script per week, film on Saturday, edit on Sunday is first principles. Create a to-do list for each day that connects to your bigger goals. Think of them like daily quests. You complete quests, you gain experience, you level up. Gamifying your life keeps things lighter and more fun. You are still serious about your future, but you stop taking your ego so seriously. Set realistic deadlines. Build accountability by telling trusted people what you are doing. Start with small, easy actions that you almost cannot fail. This beats trying to be a hero for 3 days and then burning out. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. If you keep breaking promises you make to yourself, you weaken your self-trust. Momentum fades. Your brain starts to expect failure. You want the opposite. You want to train your brain to think, when I say I will do something, I follow through. Neuroscience shows that repeated exposure to high-effort tasks builds circuits in your brain that support self-control and discipline. Over time, your capacity to do hard things grows. Physical exercise is one of the most powerful ways to build this. Strength training and cardio work increase levels of BDNF, a protein that supports brain health and learning. You are literally reshaping your brain to handle effort. Rest still matters, but there is a difference between deliberate rest and constant escape into cheap dopamine. Be careful with that difference. Step 3 is to automate and optimize. First, track your progress. You cannot improve what you never measure. You do not need a complex system. A simple journal works. Write a short paragraph each day about what you did, what worked, what did not, and what you will change tomorrow. This builds self-awareness. You see patterns instead of feeling lost. You notice that you are actually improving, even if you do not feel it in the moment. Habits are how you automate your system. When an action becomes a habit, it stops costing as much willpower. It becomes something you just do in certain contexts. To build habits, you usually do not need more motivation, you need better design. James Clear describes 4 basic rules. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. For breaking bad habits, you flip the script. Make them invisible, unattractive, hard, and unsatisfying. Your environment matters more than you think. It reflects your internal state and also shapes it. If you want deep work, set up a clear workspace. Remove clutter. Hide distractions. Use small visual cues like a notebook left open with your next task written at the top. Turn on Do Not Disturb during your focus blocks. Log out of social media when you are working. Put your phone in another room if you know you will keep checking it. Treat your system as a living thing. Review it often. Ask what is working. Ask what keeps failing. Adjust. Just like in fitness, you need progressive overload. As you get stronger, you slowly increase the challenge. If your system stays static while you grow, it will start to hold you back. There is no one perfect system for everybody. You are building yours through experimentation. Remove what clearly does not work. Double down on what does. Try new methods when you feel stuck. Watch out for multitasking. Research on cognitive load shows that your working memory can only hold a few pieces of information at the same time. If you overload it, your error rate jumps, your learning drops, and you feel drained. Active goals pull your attention and energy. If you chase too many at once, your system becomes weak and scattered. Focus beats complexity. You are better off choosing one simple goal, connecting it to your North Star. and building a strong system around it than juggling many shallow goals with no real plan. Remember this line? You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your systems are weak, your results will be unstable, no matter how big your dreams are. So here's a simple challenge. Pick one area of your life that matters to you. Define a clear 3 to 5 year North Star. Reverse engineer it into small daily actions. Start tracking your behavior. Design your environment to support those actions. Commit to showing up for at least the next 30 days. If you have your own tips or experiences with systems, share them in the comments so others can learn from you too. If this video helped you, hit like so more people can see it. Subscribe if you want more content on building systems, habits, and a life you are proud of. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.